What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bugs' DCS Cruise. Before we jump into this video and today's mission, I just wanted to give a really quick update on the sim pit and the hangar. I have a couple little goodies coming, hopefully the beginning of next week for the sim pit that will help with our random control disconnects that we've been having. I narrowed the problem down, and they are my older USB hubs, so we have a couple of new ones on the way, so that should help us out a little bit. I got a little something for the joystick just to help with the comfort level of it for now until I could figure out a little bit of a better solution. But all in all, everything with that is absolutely fantastic. The last thing is the update with the hangar, and that is we have a new airplane in the hangar. And that's the Full Fidelity F5. We finally got our hands on it. I've been having nothing but problems with the Flaming Cliffs one again. I don't know why, so enough is enough with that. Let's just get the Full Fidelity one, and of course, I got the thing last night, and lo and behold, wake up to a notification this morning that the Thanksgiving sale has started. So I missed that literally by 8 hours. But nothing I can do about it. Eagle Dynamics has their policy with what they do, so out of my control. So I ended up paying full boat for the F5 instead of the 40% off. But if that did end up happening, then we would have gotten the Hind as well to play around with that, but that's going to have to wait just a little while longer now. So, other than that, let's jump into what we're going to be doing for this one. I did this a while ago. We attempted it. Limited success, but I do remember, and the long-time viewers remember, that I wanted to try this again when I got a force feedback joystick, just for a little bit more of a feel with this. So that's going to be auto rotations. We're going to try that again with the OH-6. And if all goes well, we're also going to try a simulated tail rotor failure, just to brush up on a couple of the emergency procedures. The OH-6 can do it in DCS. You have to do it the right way, obviously. That's a no-brainer. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, or you're going to be a smoking hole in the ground. So we're going to shoot for the middle gap, and we're going to hope that this works. So without any further ado, I'm going to stop yapping. We're going to go from a cold start. It's been quite a while since I flew the OH-6. This is actually the first time flying it with the force feedback base, so let's see how this works. I know the other helicopters are absolutely amazing, so let's see what the old Cayuse could do. Alright. Not bad, but the engine's not running and we don't have any hydraulic controls right now, obviously because the rotor blades are not moving. Let's make sure all our frictions are off here. Okay. It's actually pretty heavy and it controls like a real helicopter right now. That's pretty cool. Like I said, this is the first time flying this with the force feedback base, guys, so totally new to me. Okay, that's that, okay. Alright, I'm just gonna breeze through the cold start with this thing really quick. You've seen me do this a couple of times before. If you guys want to see a little bit of a refresh video at some point, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do that for you guys. So, just really quick, let me just breeze through it and get her started up, and we can get on with what we got to be doing today. Oops. All right, here we go. All right, everything looks good. Worry about the lights once we get power going. Fuel pumps on, that's open, good, set to go, batteries, okay, all right, here we go. Clear. Start. TOT is coming back down. There's our light. Alright. Beautiful. Some things you just don't forget how to do after a while, guys. Generators on. Throttle up to 70. Up a little bit. Closed. That's pretty cool, the haptic feedback on the Rotor throttle. Something was vibrating. Interesting. Let's get the lights turned on. So the AB9 is most certainly this throttle, see what we can go do. Everything's the way it's supposed to be. T's and P's look good. Three G's top of T. WTs are out. Our fuel's good for quite a while. Not worried about that right now. We're staying right over at Nellis Air Force Base for what we're going to be doing, so we're going to take off. We're going to fly a pattern around Nellis just to get a feel for the old Cayuse again. Just like I said, it's been a while since I flew her, so let's just get a little bit more acquainted with her again before we start trying to do emergency procedures with her. So everything looks a-okay. Let's start flying. Alright guys, here we go. Now I have to remember, the last helicopter I flew was the Gazelle, so this is going to be a little bit of right anti-torque, left anti-torque pedal, not right anti-torque pedal. So we got to keep that in mind. Alright, here we go. Nice and easy. Nice and gentle. Perfect. Just like riding a bike. Take the active, we're actually going to take off from the runway. Let's remember how to maneuver with the old OH-6. Let's take the active. Guys, here we go. Let's go remember how to fly the old Cayuse. We're going to come up, we're going to break left over the racetrack, we'll fly over Vegas International Speedway, and then we'll come on back down towards here, and then we'll line up on the runway, and that's where we'll do our rotation exercise. I hope this works out the way I'm envisioning, but we'll see what happens. Clearly active. We're the only aircraft in the area, so it doesn't really make a difference, but so we're going to come in on 2-1 on the either 2-1 right or 0-3 left. We'll take off on. We're going to stick on that runway. Pattern. We're going to come over the racetrack, do a pattern around the airport, and then, you know what, yeah, we'll do that. We'll shoot the downwind, we'll break in, and we'll come in on 2-1 right for the auto rotation. The OH-6 does feel really good with the 4-seat back base. Thompson and April did a pretty good job with this thing, I'm not gonna lie. I'll leave a link to the Discord for the crew with the OH-6. Awesome mod, I really do love flying this thing. I really encourage everybody download it. It is such a fun helicopter to fly. Multi-mission capable just as well. And the best part for you guys that wondering about getting into the rotary wing stuff for DCS, you guys might want to check the OH-6 out. If you want to learn how to fly a helicopter in DCS, the OH-6 is definitely one of them. And the best part is, it is a freeware mod that does not rely on anything as a crutch or a parent mod or airframe. So you don't need, say, the Huey to make it work or something like that. Like for the F-22, how you need the F-15C to make it work. Not the OH-6. She's a standalone thing and full fidelity, multi-mission capable, and a total blast to fly. And it comes with a whole bunch of cool assets as well. So definitely give it a check out. I'll leave, like I said, I'll leave a link to the Thompson and 8-ball OH-6 Discord in the video description below. She feels really good. So let's come in this way. We'll line up on 2-1 right, and then we're set up for the water rotation. So for those of you guys that are not too familiar with the rotary wing stuff, auto rotation is pretty much you lose your engine power. You have to get this thing safely on the ground. So we're going to use our speed, our forward speed, and our altitude, and we're going to safely bring it down and kind of land it like an airplane. I'm sure the Hilo rotor heads out there are going to correct me in the comments. Totally fine. Honestly, I would love to really read the physics and whatnot behind it. So I'm pretty sure I know how to execute it with this. I've done it a few times, each with varying results, but we'll see what happens. Let's hope for the best. So that's good. Alright, so once we get saddled in, then I'm going to drop the throttle. And then I'm going to work it from there. So let's make sure our airspeed is good. Our altitude, 200 feet. Okay, let's straighten ourselves out over the runway. Let's give this a shot. If it starts to get squirrely, I'm just going to pull power back on, and we're just going to try and bug out and work with it from there. Alright. Here we go. Throttle's down. Okay, flare, flare, flare. Nice and easy. Work with the collective. Nice and gentle. Nope, not good. Nope, not. Alright, we can stop bouncing down the runway now. You know it didn't work. Alright, we were too fast. I didn't flare it soon enough. We have the concept down, so you know what we're gonna do? Let's do this. We're going to go from a hot start, and we're going to Try this again. We're gonna set up and then just spin back in and come back around, except we're gonna try not to come in as fast. And I'm gonna try a little bit of more of a flare, just so we don't hopefully run into trouble. Okay, so I also do want to attempt the tail rotor failure simulation as well, so let's get her ready to go. Let's try this again. Alright, so we're just going to take off. We're going to go up to the right. We're going to separate just a little bit, get a little bit of altitude, a little bit of forward airspeed, and we're going to try it again. I'd be a horrible helicopter pilot right about now. Especially with this, jeez. Alright, come on, folks. You know how to fly this thing. We don't go bouncing down the runway again. If we do, that's really gonna suck, and I have a funny feeling this video is going to be a very big hit. Watching bugs fall on his face and fail at something. See what happens. All right, here goes nothing. See what we can do. Try speed. Three, two, one. Power's coming off. Not really a lot of rotation bugs, but we're on the ground. Let's try that again. I'm just going to take off to the end of the runway, turn around, and we'll try and come back in. That really was not what I was looking for, but I'll take it. At least we're in one piece. First attempt. And doing this with my current setup is honestly a little tricky, because I do not have a proper collective setup just yet. So I'm using a Logitech throttle quadrant to fly helicopters, so one lever is for the collective and the other two are throttle levers, so it's a little bit of a jumble around to make this work right now. And it's extremely easy to bump into something that you don't want. I do have my eyes set on the verbal collective setup. So hopefully in the near future that will be happening. I want to make this a lot more user-friendly, immersive, and realistic. Alright. That's enough yapping on the flight out. Let's turn this thing in. Let's try this again. Let's give it a little bit of pedal. Just turn her in. Alright, there we go. Don't screw it up. 3, 2, 1, power's off. Okay, easy, 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 flare, flare, flare. Okay, that's a little bit more of an auto rotation. Alright, that was a little bit more of an auto rotation. That's more what I was looking to try to do, guys. So we ended up straight, and then we bounced a little bit. That was totally my fault. I realized what I did wrong when that bump occurred, but that was the general concept. So as you guys can hear, the throttle is down. You guys can see on the gauge the throttle's down. So that's a simulated loss of engine power. Let's try a tail rotor failure or a loss of tail rotor effectiveness, and we'll see what happens with that. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to stay pretty close to where we are. We're going to hover a couple of feet above the ground, and then once that happens, I'm going to let go of the anti-torque pedals, and once she starts to spin around, I'm going to gently try to land her. So I have not tried anything like this before in DCS. I don't know what to expect, so let's see what happens. And if this goes good, we'll either try another one of these or another rotor rotation and or both. So we'll see what happens. Alright, let's get her up nice and easy. Let's bring her up over... Let's move her over here a little bit. Alright. Just so at least they have a landmark so I can see what we're doing here. Hold her right about here. Get her stable. As stable as we can. Alright, coming off the pedals in 3, 2, 1. That's a little unnerving. That's a little unnerving, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if we can bring her up a little bit higher and see if we get another rotation or two out of it. But I really... Wow. I don't like that feeling. Spin is one thing. That's just really unnerving. Alright. Here we go. Off the pedals in 3, 2, 1. Alright, here we go. Bring it down. I do not think that's the proper way to do that, but I'm going to try that one more time, and I want to see if I can maybe try to compensate or counteract once it starts spinning with the pedals, if it'll... I don't know. I'd have to... If you guys know the procedure or whatnot for the loss of tail rotor effectiveness or whatnot, please let me know in the comments below, or hop onto the Discord server. I'd be more than happy to read into it and see. That stuff does interest me, so, and I do want to learn it. I'm actually learning a little bit more about flying the OH-6 right now, and honestly, I haven't done tail rotor failure stuff, so let's see if we can try to compensate a little bit once it starts giving out with the pedals, see if we can recover it, if that might help smooth the landing out as we drop the collective at the same time. Or is it just meant to be done down? I doubt it's meant to be done down low, because if you lose it up high, you gotta... I don't know. Like I said, my ears and eyes are open. I do want to learn, so... Alright, coming off the pedals, and then we'll let it spin, and we'll try and recover it. Here we go. There's one. There's two. Yeah, so with the pedal you could recover it rather easily. Oh, shit. Oh well. So much for doing the auto rotation again. Well, let's get that racket turned off for a moment. Not much we could do about that, guys. We're kind of in a rough position right now. not much we could do about this one now, guys. I do have second thoughts about posting this video because I know all of my trolls out there are going to have a field day with it and tell me I suck as a helicopter pilot. Yes, I know, thank you. Duly noted. But the guys that are helpful, I know will help me out to figure out exactly what I'm doing wrong and to correct certain things and help me become a better helicopter pilot, so I much appreciate that. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I made quite a few mistakes, if not the whole thing was a mistake, but that's how you learn. And I definitely did learn something tonight. I'm going to definitely try this again on my own and just get better from there. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any information on the auto rotation stuff and the tail rotor failure or loss of tail rotor effectiveness stuff, especially with the OH-6 MD500, I'll be more than happy to read it because I love flying this helicopter and I want to learn how to do stuff like that in and out with it. So I'd be more than appreciative of the information. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more. And until the next sortie, strap in, arm up the seat, and keep flying.